Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All these types of things. I love it. The one person who does not want to be up here would be Suzanne. I'm so excited. We have so much to go over today. So we're gonna breeze through some of this. Yeah. Bucket bills. Who wants to share? It's been an amazing month. So I better share. I'm gonna share for you. Who wants to share? Wait.
This is my friend Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
Oh, Chelsea got approved. I've been praying.
It is tough, but it's tough. She's thinking about in our office. She's just super sweet. Thankful to have her here.
Yeah. Everybody be nice.
Yeah. And then we have two listings. It's on 2.5 acres. There's a barn. All the things. Super cute. That one's going to be 425. And then we have Hula. That's a ranch, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's probably 375. So those two are fun. So if you have a buyer,
Send it her way.
Yes.
Awesome. Who else? Anybody else want to share?
I have a listing and going in next week for downtown Flowery Branch, walkable to both the marina and all the loveliness on Main Street.
Caroline's on Main.
Oh, Caroline told me all of it.
Yeah,
Picked by Annabella. So yeah, next week. So
Awesome. What's the price?
we're still working on it.
Range?
It's maybe around 425. Yeah. No, it's actually it's a 1955 that has been completely
Oh. On how much land?
It's just like a 0.33 acre, but it's on a corner of Church Street and Mitchell there. And,
That's all the things. That's all the things. Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to share?
my house is ready.
Well,
It's
it's ready.
It's ready. Yeah, it's Beaufort City, so it's in brick completion and
Smell like that.
2 acres. So
Beaver City Schools, baby. Love it. Awesome.
Sorry, is Kimberly in here? Is Kimmy?
Kimmy is not here.
You just got a listing.
Oh, yeah. Brand new agent. She signed on Friday, had a listing appointment on Sunday, signed on Sunday.
Yes, and the BDA too. So
And the
you got
BDA.
two.
She follows the rules. Yeah. Love those rule followers. All right. Nikki, Joy, and Tim. I don't think Joy or Nikki's here. Tim is here. Come on up.
Wasn't sure.
Guaranteed mortgage. That's right.
Good morning. How many there are folks that turn into assisted living or other kind of elder care? I know you're like to trust everybody here, but that's a conversation we end up having as children. And the thing that I think anybody who's done that knows how expensive it's only getting more expensive because there's a lot of those facilities that are being built right around the inventory. To bring that up for this reason, there is a program called the Family Opportunity Mortgage. What that does is allows you, child in this case, to buy something for your parents as their primary residence. If the parent by themselves do not qualify, it would be considered their primary residence. So you bought a house down the street from you, they couldn't qualify. We'd have to show their income that they couldn't qualify, buy the house. It's their primary residence. That means that their primary residence, they get a tax advantage of being a primary residence. Homestead and all that stuff. So, but the thing is, it gives you the opportunity to help them into something that rates are high, but if you ever look at those monthly bill at assisted living, it's pretty high as well. So this is an opportunity to get them into the home. Key thing is they cannot have enough money to buy it on their own, and you have to qualify. Obviously, if you have your current mortgage, you'd have to qualify for that, and that property not counting them as they're not renting; they own the house. They just aren't putting themselves on the mortgage. So it's a great way to do it. It's also you're allowed to do that for an adult child that's disabled. It doesn't have requirements. So if you have somebody may be able to function normally but has some disabilities, you can do that for them as well. But their primary resident, same benefit with that exemption. So it's a neat little program that I've used a couple of times. I actually learned about it from a buyer saying, are you aware of this program? I'm like, I am absolutely not. It's embarrassing for me to admit that, but it's great. It's great to know that it's out there, especially as our population ages. There are more opportunities for this. But keep that in mind for yourselves or anybody who have buyers that are some parents way to do it without having to have the property be an investment property, and they're the owners. They're on the tax deed for the ownership, and so on and so forth.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
In terms of mortgage pricing, is it done as a second home?
Yeah, that's the other part. Primary residence, so they could buy with as little as 3% down, or 5% down. Interest rate as a primary resident. So that's the other benefit is again, rates are not great right now, but they're held a lot better than primary residence than a investment property. So it'll be their primary residence. You're paying the mortgage, even though you're not living there. It's their primary residence.
Awesome.
And then the final benefit is eventually they go to stairs and
farm.
yeah, heaven, all dogs go to heaven. Then you have potentially rental opportunity that you can now use it for rental income, even though it was purchased initially as a primary residence.
Awesome. All right, they're down to John. All right, Tiffany and Carmen are crushing it last day of the month, but they are not here today doing closings for all of our amazing agents. Kelly LaKinda is here today and has an amazing surprise that she is going to share with everybody that we are over the moon about. Excited to share.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Kelly LaKinda with 210 Home Buyers Warranty, your home warranty partner. So we have some very, very exciting news. Who in here knows about our complimentary listing? How's that work?
It works beautifully. So when you take a listing, you can go talk to the seller and let them know that you can have a free warranty that covers everything. If they want to put the HVAC on that, it would just need to call for time, which they can offer it to the buyer. Once the buyer buys, so they get coverage as the seller through the whole time that it's a month or 6 months, you get you get the benefit of that coverage.
Good job. So again, we don't know how long the home's on the market for, a couple of hours, weeks, months, even up to a year. So what we're proposing to your sellers, we'll give them free coverage. Nothing's due up front, nothing's due until closing, and only if that home closes with a home warranty. So even if we go out there during that listing period, if we pay any claims, if we even have to replace, if that closing does not close, or they decide to take it off the market, or the seller's not going to pay for the warranty, they still owe us absolutely nothing. The only thing that is optional for coverage is adding the air conditioner and heat pump coverage. That is what they are agreeing to pay, which is an additional $50. Okay, so this is the exciting news. I got something that can help you guys and help set you apart from others in the market when you are going on these listing appointments. Coming soon, we're hoping to have a launch date of May 15th, and you guys will you will get an email, you will get a bomb video from me, making sure that is the exact date, but we are pushing for May 15th. But moving forward, every single one of y'all's listings will automatically be enrolled with Google. So you will not have to enroll it. Number one questions is 210 going to be contacting myself? Absolutely not. We will not be contacting your seller. Another question. I understand that you guys might have another relationship with another warranty. We do shame on you. I understand relationships. So if you do have another relationship, you could always go in and opt out. Okay. The only thing that you would have to do is go in and make sure to add the air conditioner and coverage if you guys wanted that coverage during the winter period. But it's coming soon. I'm going to be having trainings. We're going to have scripts for you guys, but you guys do know that I do come along with my product. I can talk to your sellers. I can answer those tough questions. I also have a very good email that you email me and introduce me to your sellers, and I can respond to all with how the complimentary listing coverage works. And they have me call if they have additional questions. Okay, y'all excited? Yeah. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any 10 home buyers warranty, have ever worked with me, I'd love that opportunity. to be your partner this year. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Kelly. All right, we're coming on homeward. All of our vendor partners, I know we have a few here, please stand up. Brian's here, right? Up. All right, you guys go across and introduce yourselves.
I'm Cindy Bumpers with
Ray Gillespie, CFP with some partners.
Fred Brown, Surf Road Painters.
Henry Baker, contractors.
Awesome. We appreciate you guys so much. Mary Ann Finno. Stand up, my friends. Really quickly. So Mary Ann Finno, dual career agent, just celebrated 35 years as a pediatric nurse at Showa. And that's a big deal.
Yes.
I volunteered at Showa for a year. Give this woman a round of applause. It's an amazing real estate career that she runs as a dual career. So those of you in the room that are dual career, it can be done. She's in our top 20%, if not higher, on a regular basis, and she's a rock star. So I just thank you for being here today. It was a surprise to see your face and back in here because I've done this. But she's a rock star. So if you want to know how to do a dual career, she's your girl. Tech tip.
I have great news, everybody.
Ready.
Okay, so y'all know how much I love what? Chat.
GPT.
All right, they put the same. Okay. So officially, KW has launched KWIQ, which is our own Chat GPT. And it's available to you in Command. So when you log into your Command homepage, you'll see at the bottom right corner a little circle with some stars in it. You just have to opt in and you can ask any questions. It can help you with your listings. It can help you with your social media content. It can help you generate all of your things. So instead of going to Chat GPT, just use KWIQ.
And then, all right, we're gonna breeze through these. CE class on Thursday the 2nd. Rigger Boys is Monday the 6th. Red Day is May 9th. If you guys have not signed up, do not leave until you have signed up for something for Red Day. Jessica Wimmer, for those that don't know her, she's a licensed agent and admin. She has built systems and operations for big mega teams. We are doing an admin class for admins, not agents. If you are running your own, you can attend, but it is for if you have admins on May the 14th for an admin mastermind. Big words. Sunset Mixer, Cloudland, and then Summer Fun Day. This is the reverse bowl 100. Call in to win event on May 17th. Please register and you have to pay up front, and this money cannot go on your office bill. You have to bring a check or cash to the market center. It cannot go on your office bill. Here's why. We tried that. Everybody that has ACH pays their standard ACH, and then it takes us 3 months to collect for stuff like this because that's not part of your standard ACH, and it is challenging. So in order to manage our AR and all the things, you guys have to pay for this up front. It cannot go on your office bill. Red Day.
Red Day,
You guys
y'all,
want to share?
yeah, please sign up. There's another slide after this. Yep. Okay, so this is, if you want this customized, we're 10 days away. So this is a great touch to your clients. You can literally, that's what we send to ours. They scan the QR code, they can donate, they can sign up to help if they want, but it's a great touch. So if you want one, I need 10 people. So raise your hand. Okay. All right, I'm seeing you. We're making eye contact. Got you. I got you. Okay. Y'all don't leave because I literally am gonna need your headshot because I'm gonna customize it and your logo because I can put your logo at the top. But I need your commitment that you're gonna send it to me. Okay? Everybody see that? Y'all witnesses?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready for the manager? You have a question?
No, I'm committing.
Oh, Anne's like, I'm in.
Yeah, I will get you. Yeah, so make sure you sign up for Red Day as well. There's so many serving opportunities. It's such a great.
I saw Summer, who's in Holly's office, Summer Berg, did something with this yesterday, and she did a really cute little reel with it. It was really cute, talking about, she just did a casual conversation, talking about what Red Day is, what it means to her, and then shared this with her SOI, so it was really sweet. Team meetings for next month. We got Dominic coming. We have BJ coming. We've got our vendor potluck. That is May 7th. So that's our big vendor fair for the spring and our international potluck. Tech training, our SOI, just do it, and mortgage training the 2nd, 4th Tuesday of May. Coaching call every Monday, Friday, 9. Coaching classes the 6th, 13th, and 20th. Pre-license starts tonight for the evening courses, which is Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then Ignite starts tomorrow. So if you guys are brand new, need Ignite, please, please, please sign up and be here in person or on Zoom. Mega Agent Day, if anybody's going to that, registration, it's buy two, get one. Buy one, yeah, get two, buy two, get one, thank you. That's on Wednesday at the aquarium. The Jambos box, Julie, who's hosting, handling our Jambos box this year, it's here for the end of May. So we got rain pajamas, any size pajamas for our kiddos.
Yes, it's a great touch. I sent out an email and then a Facebook form, so all you have to just copy and paste it, you can change it up. It's
All the
easy,
things.
and there's easy ways to get.
Maps coaching, all the free stuff is on here. Last but not least, so really quickly, Holli, Clem, who I'm proud and honored to call my friend. We met at Bold, my first Bold, when I was not with KW several years ago, and she wrote a sweet note on my back when we did our take papers where you write things about that person. I still have it hanging in my office at home, and I know which line was hers. And so she has been a big supporter of me and a friend, and I appreciate you being here today because she is a rock star agent, and we are just really lucky. So that's how.
All right, y'all. I usually do these things when I'm sitting at a panel and people are asking questions, and it's a little less like intimidating, maybe.
You got this.
So, all right, just bear with me. And my admins, I'm an individual agent. I guess I should start there. I'm an individual agent, and I have 2 full-time admins who put this all together for me. And so I got my license in 2016 after being a stay-at-home mom for 22 years. So I had moved previously 6 times myself for my husband's job. I've been on the buy-sell side multiple times across state lines. And so when my son, stay-at-home mom, remember, 22 years, went to college, that title no longer applied. Really wasn't stay-at-home mom anymore. So what am I going to do? Well, I thought I'd get my real estate license. Why not, right? I never ever imagined or dreamed that I would get to this level. And, this was just something that sort of happened by accident. But if you look back, team mom, PTA mom, room mom, like all those connections you're making in life and all the experience you're gathering, I look back and I said, the good Lord was preparing me for this all along. This is what I was supposed to do, and I didn't even know it, right? So very blessed. I could not do it. Leverage, leverage, leverage. I know I'm here to talk about negotiations, but leverage is key. I hired my first admin 5 years ago. She is still with me today. Then I tried to add my second one. There were 4 people before my current second admin because you have to know when to hire and to fire, right? Because you have to have the right people that complement you, that support you in the way you need, and all of that. So I finally found, as Karen, I finally found Ashley. She's been with me 2 years. I couldn't do any of this without them. So as much as I'd like to say this is all me, it is definitely not. So I specialize in luxury and Lake Lanier properties, but I will sell anything. I will sell a $50,000 lot, a $175,000 condo down in Sandy Springs. I will do it all, right? But for some reason, I've kind of been lumped there most often. So I was lucky enough to get with some builders, and I was the exclusive listing agent out at Hickory Lakeside on the lake, as well as we have another new community. We have about half sold, Arden on Lanier Waterside. These are the stats, and let me ask you some questions. Let me go to negotiations, okay? That's enough about me, okay? Y'all got that?
Yeah.
All right. So when do negotiations start? What does that mean immediately?
Your first impressions first.
It is your first you are negotiating the entire time. And think about it. If you don't realize that, think about it. You negotiate all the time in your life. You negotiate with your children.
Yes.
right? Please make the bed. Why, we have all discussion, why do they not have to make the bed? Why do you need to make the bed? Like, you're negotiating all your, everywhere, with your spouse, where are you gonna go to dinner? Right? You are negotiating all day, so don't ever be afraid to negotiate, because you do it very naturally all day long, and you don't even realize it. So, at the listing appointment, there is one tool, actually, there's one tool that works for either side, buyer or seller, that you should always have in your toolbox when negotiating. And it's one word, it's preparation. Okay? If you are not prepared, you are already behind the 8 ball. Okay? That means research, that means asking questions, that means talking to people, pulling comps, maybe Googling or Facebook searching the person you're about to meet with. Can you find them? What can you find out about them? Right? Preparation is key. That's the one tool you should have in your box at all times. So, and I'm going to go to this slide here in a second, but when you get to an offer stage, when do those negotiations start, would you say?
I think it's when you call them to eat asking cattle.
Correct. Yes. So your offer negotiations are technically starting when you are, what's your name? Chelsea. Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea, it's Holly.
Okay.
Calling about your listing, right? You're already starting right there, negotiating with her. All right. She's good. She knows it. I know it, right? But the very interesting thing about our industry is there are so many people that are brand new. They don't understand the game, or someone who's been in it for years and years and years, but maybe they have their license for 30 years, but only sold 3 homes, their own, right? So, that's what makes kind of our job a little interesting when we come to negotiations, is because we have all different levels of expertise and backgrounds and where we're coming from. So the second biggest tool that you can have in your toolbox, in my personal opinion, is building rapport, okay, with that agent. Be friendly. It's not that hard. Like, I'm dealing with someone right now that I would say is not so friendly, but I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm going to continue on that friendly, and my goal is to kill them with kindness and win them over, and let's get this to the end in a manner that is fitting us all, right? So, okay. So what to share and what not to share. This is something I always get asked, like, well, should I tell Chelsea this? Should I tell her that? What should I tell her? So just out of curiosity, my clients are getting a divorce. Is that something you should share?
They're like really crying and they're not letting let it go.
Potentially, but typically no, right? The husband was transferred to a different city for a new job.
If you have permission, if they say, hey, because people, agents always ask, why are they moving?
Mhm.
But if you have permission,
We'll keep going. I'm going to explain a few things. The property is listed for X, but I think the sellers will likely pay X. How many times I have, so I ask questions. I'm a question asker. I will ask anything. And it is surprising how many agents will tell you stuff that you're like, yeah, thank you. I wouldn't have said that. I'm writing it down. So just ask questions. Come from a place of curiosity. Well, and ask the questions and then be quiet.
Yeah,
You just let them go. You're not sure back. The wife has cancer and they want to be closer to the hospital. Okay. So all of those are no's. Why? Well, some of it's because it's personal, but some of it is just it puts your seller in a bad, like it's showing they might be desperate.
Desperate, yeah. It's
What?
desperation, then it's a weakness.
Yeah, and so
like 5, 6,
and
5
7.
and 6,
Mhm.
they look like they don't have to sell, but that also might disincentivize offers.
That might what?
Just so basically prevent offers from coming over.
Well, so these last three are like, those are some you can share. Okay, and you have to, it's how you present it and how this conversation's going. But these are, the sellers don't have to settle. It's like, you're not desperate, you know, like, yes, I want to work with you, but please bring an offer, but they don't have to sell. So you're not telling them don't lowball me, right? The sellers will only sell if they get the right price. That's fair. It's kind of very neutral, right? Those things, those kind of things are good, and there's a lot of interest in the property.
Only if it's true.
Now, I feel like that's the one.
Right, right. So there is a, but in it,
So,
yeah, but there's a lot of interest.
There's talk of it all.
It just,
Yeah.
you know, like, right. You do have to be careful. So these are all the things when you're talking to agents, try to put yourself in the position of asking more questions and doing a little talking, less talking versus, and get them talking, right? That's your goal. Okay, so I just thought, I went through recently a very interesting negotiation. I feel like I find these people or they find me all the time. I'm not sure which, but it's interesting. And, you know, like I said, it's always my goal. We're all going to be happy, build a rapport, because even though people say there's no such thing as a win-win negotiation, you know, technically maybe that's true. Someone came out a little bit better than the other, but I feel like as long as we're fair to all parties, I feel that's a win-win, right? So let's talk about my little case study here, okay? This is a brand new listing that I was representing the buyer on with 3 days on market, and the list price was $560. Okay, when we wrote the offer, this is what we wrote. We wrote it for $550, which was 10,000 below list. It's only 3 days on market. VA loan. The VA approval letter said it was 100% loan. Zero closing costs. We're not going to ask for any closing costs. That's probably the first good thing they saw, right? 40 days, we'll close in 40 days. We want possession at closing, 7 days due diligence, and we'll give you $5,500 for earnest money in 3 days. What potential problems do you see with my offer to this listing agent? That she might, they might be like the first thing that they're gonna come back with. So it's only 3 days on market, right? And you have a VA loan, people have bad opinions about VA because, you know, that I think they're great. I have no issues with them and I can overcome them, and I'll show you how I do here in a minute, okay? So, the $5,500 in earnest money, that's no big deal, right? Okay, so here was the special stipulations I wrote to go along with my offer on the purchase and sale, starting my negotiation. Because it was a VA loan, I put on there within 5 days of binding agreement date, the buyer's lender shall provide documentation to the seller confirming the appraisal has been ordered. Why? Why did I do that? They're a little slow. They have no deadline. They can just do what they want. So to encourage the buyer's agent, I said, I'm going to put this timeline in. Of course, when you're committing a lender to doing something like that, make sure you ask them first. Okay? So just don't be, oh, well, Holly said, go put that in there, it should work. You know, I talked to the lender first, right? Okay. And then, in order, because we were going 10,000 under, item B, AA, this is part of your purchase and sale agreement, is amended as follows. Okay? So I'm agreeing to purchase the property as is, with the following exception. Okay? Prior to the end of due diligence, buyer shall complete a home inspection of the property. If the buyer's inspection identifies a significant defect requiring 10,000 or more, my buyer now has the right, not the obligation, to terminate without penalty and all earned money refunded. Okay? So that's how I'm going to get, like, I'm going to buy it as is. That's why I'm offering this. I will only walk away in this circumstance. And it's very defined. I'm saying things technically you don't have to repeat because it's already in the purchase and sale. Like earnest money would be returned, right? Well, if I cancel within due diligence, that's kind of a given. I'm one of those extra clear, extra clear, extra clear. Let's just put it out there because not everybody reads that. People don't understand, but they tend to read special steps. And that's what agents tend to go over with their clients. So that makes it clear. So then it's on a septic, right? So here is what I wanted from them. This was a big thing to my buyers, that they have a septic tank pumped, right? Well, I can't make them do that. I can request all that, but I'm going to say I want a full inspection of it. And I'm defining what it is because of late, a clearance letter with visual inspection can mean, like if Hall County does a visual inspection, they're literally walking and looking at the yard. They're not opening it. You would think it means open the tank, look inside, make sure all of those things are working properly. It does not mean that. Now, when bank septics, the people I use, do a visual, it does mean that. But I'm extra clarifying. Okay, when does it have to be done? Who's paying for it? How is proof provided? All of those things are in there, right? Because if I just said for bank septic to do a full inspection and provide report no later than X, well, you know, what does it all mean, right? When all that. So I put, in this case, I don't typically put the dates like this, but my buyer, we're going to run out of due diligence before they even see the house. Okay. And they're coming to town May 7th, right? So that's why I put May 3rd. Want that all done so we have the report when he shows up at the property, he's got everything he needs, right? So that is why I got so specific here. And then there were just things that weren't on the seller's disclosure that were staying or remaining or any of, they weren't notified. These were things the buyers did not want. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, listing agent called me after they got the offer, because I always send it, you know, text or call, try to speak with them, make sure they got the offer. She called and explained that the sellers needed 3 days temporary occupancy. That's pretty typical, right? People ask for that. They ask for it here. I got it. So, does it matter why they want occupancy? Should you ask that? I always ask, why? Why you want that? Why is that important, right? Okay, so, and then after discussing possible solutions, because that's not gonna work for my buyers, right? The reason they wanted it, the 3 days occupancy, and it was something that the agent told me would potentially kill the deal, was that previously they had got to the closing table and people didn't show up and they're stuck with the truck and blah, 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 right? And I'm saying, okay, well, what can we do to reassure your buyer that we're going to show up at the closing table? How can I help them? She's like, they need 3, and she wasn't budging. They need 3 days. They need 3 days. That's all they want. They want 3 days. So, okay, well, hold up, because that's not going to work. My client's coming from Wyoming with 2 trucks, driving cross country with 4 dogs. They're going to show up at the closing table. They need to get in that house. Where are you going to go with 4 dogs and all your stuff in truck, right? Like, I would normally try to oblige. However, we can't. We just can't. So what can I do? You can give us 3 days. All right. So I'll do all the thinking then. You know, so don't say that out loud. Don't say that out loud. Okay. Just keep that to yourself and run it through your own head. So we had all these back and forth and ideas, and then she sent me an email summarizing the counter offer and attached the signed counter offer. Guess what happened?
She did put
Her summary email that told me all about these things we had talked about was great. I pulled up the counteroffer that was actually signed. It wasn't at all very similar. It's a little different. The reason I pointed this out is I had an agent in our office call me the other day and said, I have two offers on my listing. I'm so excited. They're so similar. Here's just the differences. And I think one was like 4 days due diligence, one was 8, the money's the same, blah, blah, blah. And I looked, you know, I gave her some steps, and then all of a sudden I said, well, can you tell me more about the other terms? Well, no, I'm just looking at the summary emails they gave me. Read the contract, please. Pull it up, like some of the most basic things, you either get lazy, you're busy, you get distracted, whatever. Don't go by the summary email. If I went by the summary email, told my clients, oh, this is what's coming, and then sent it, it was completely different. So here's what she sent me. Number one was the regarding the 3 days. Instead of the 3 days, on or before 11 days, I'm not sure why 11, after the binding agreement date, buyer shall submit $2,500 in closing to the closing attorney as additional non-refundable earnest money, making the total amount held in escrow for this. How do you feel about that?
Well, you can't have non-refundable earnest money, so it would have to be option money.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, it can make it non-refundable at a certain date, you know. There's a lot of things wrong with this, in my opinion. One, we're trying to get reassurance to the seller that we're going to show up. How does this reassure them we're going to show up, right? And how is that fair to my client to give money at this stage in the game, make it non-refundable for a default that hasn't even occurred, right? Okay, so that's number one. I'll show you what we did. All parties agree the birdhouse located in the backyard, blah, 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 and will be returned once the nesting season's over. Buyers agree to contact sellers and arrange for a time. Okay, and it survived closing.
That's it.
I'm fine. They want no issues with them having the bird feeder. Buyers don't want the bird feeder, like none of that, right? But why do my buyers have to contact your sellers? I don't know when nesting season's over. They don't know when nesting like like why are we chasing you? You want it, so my natural response is you can have it, but that's on you to contact us, and you know, like, so we're gonna push that back, right? I was like, okay. And then this is the whole thing, which this is laziness. They didn't have it on the CAD what the initiation and transfer and all that was, right? Okay, and
They
so
realize it after the fact.
okay, so it's laziness, and so like, all right, we could have said, you know, but we haven't signed yet. I don't care. I think fair is fair, right? It's win-win for everybody. So what I did, and she put this amount in here, she told me, because we don't know exactly what the amount is. So we're just to do 1,000 and hope that that's like, okay. So what we did, I had my admins call the HOA, get it. Could you send in writing what this fee is? Then we sent it to her and had them modify the CAD. So we didn't even have to put this on the offer.
So you're having to do the thinking and the working.
The thinking and the working, yes. Okay, and then this last one, which this one kills me because it says seller to remove the safe located in the master bedroom closet, one of those massive, like gun face, like those really big heavy ones. This one's on a slab house and it's bolted into the foundation. No one's stealing that person's stuff. Okay, so seller not responsible for damage that may occur during the removal of the safe. So what kind of damage? We could talk about the floor, we're talking about walls, what are we talking about? Like it can't be any damage, because if we signed this, even though verbally we talked about that she meant just the floor, that they meant just this, right? None of that says that there. So now let's just imagine they, you know, knock the molding off the door on the way out, they, you know, whatever, like they're just not careful. Like they're not going to be responsible for any of that. This is too bad, right? So our response was, I first put my 4 original steps right back in, and I decided not to counter the counter. I just did a clean offer. Okay, that's personal preference, depends on the situation. There was just too much that needed to be changed, right? So I just said, I told her, I said, I'm gonna just start this over, get these steps cleaned up, and I'll get back to you. Okay? So this is what I put on that first one. The buyer requested closing extension for any reason. If they do, like if we extend it, because right now we're all planning for a closing date, you're putting your movers around, you're doing all that, right? Then the buyers agree to deposit an additional. At that point, we will give you money because we've screwed up, right? We're not meeting what we agreed to. And that will, and I say, when will we would deposit it? And this, after the closing extension is executed, right? Not when we request it, once everybody agrees on the new closing, then we have 24 hours to get it in. You have to really think when you're negotiating, think down the road, like, because you say, all right, yeah, we'll give an additional 2,500 in earnest money. Great. When? Right? You have to answer, you have to always ask yourself when, how, who, like all those things, right? When you're negotiating. So again, I put on there, make sure you talk to the lender. I'm telling her that literally if she, because it's unilateral, right? If she extends this, you're costing your client, which is her client too, $2,500, right? So, and they wouldn't be happy. So she's like, no, I'm fine, I'm good. I'm like, okay, great. I put it in writing and email to her and we're all covered if something were to happen. So, and here's where I put the birdhouse. Okay, and now, but I just changed it. The seller will contact the buyers to arrange. I mean, I'm not gonna put that on my clients, right? And then here's how we did the safe, right? So the seller will arrange for professional, because you notice in hers, she didn't say anything about professional, but in her email, she said professional. We're gonna have professional movers come in and move this and take care of this. So I was like, huh, interesting how you left that out. Like, in the actual step, locate in the master bedroom closet. Buyer understands there's gonna be mounting holes. Any damage beyond those, the seller has to. Okay. No, they wanted to leave it. My buyer's like, get it out.
Oh, okay.
Get it out. I don't want that massive thing. It's massive and it's in their master closet and it's taking up a lot of space. So that,
Can I add one thing to that really quick? Sorry to interrupt. And to give you guys another example, a couple of years ago, I had an agent who had a home in Sugarloaf Country Club, and they had this safe, and they were very vague, and this is when I was with ETH, and they took it out the front door, and it slid off the side of the dolly, and it took out a whole 3 chunks of this beautiful marble stairwell at their front door, and refused to pay for it. It ended up in court and it was thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I to have that company come back and take care of that. But just to give you guys an idea, like the details and this stuff is so important.
it's like always ask yourself what could go wrong, right? If everything goes great, we're good. No worries. It's the time where something goes wrong or you haven't thought of that detail that you are now, and these are all like we're negotiating right now. So this happened in some of our conversations. I asked a lot of questions, right? So we settled on a closing date, and they told me, you know, that their box sellers would move out. Our closing date's May 28th. They're going to move out May 27th. I wrote that down. I thought about it. The sellers are elderly. You know, they have a lot of stuff in that house, and I started thinking, what could go wrong? Well, here's what I added when I sent back. I had another step. This was not discussed with her, was not mentioned. I just threw it in there, and it's a cleaning step. Because they get out of there, you know how moving day is. You're hot, you're sweaty, you're tired, you're grouchy, and there's dust balls underneath the rug that the movers picked up, and there's crumbs in the cabinets and the appliances. Did you even have time? Like so much stuff, right? And remember, my buyers are coming in, 4 dogs. They're literally unloading. They're not hiring a mover, but they're doing their own. They got to get the trucks back. Like there's a whole situation I'm thinking through for them, because what's going to happen is if it's not clean, They show up, they need to unload, who are they gonna be mad at? Me, why didn't I make sure, like, that I'm gonna be scrambling, all these other things. So how do you think that went over with the agent? This step. So here's what happened. I got an immediate email response, like immediate from her. And this is our email exchange here. The contract already has language in the cleaning. It's unnecessary to include the detailed step for cleaning. If your client would like to have professional cleaners come in prior to move in, they're welcome to do so.
It only says broom swept, so.
Oh, I know. I know. And it doesn't even say broom swept. So I was like, oh, she's mad.
She hit a nerve.
Yeah. So my response was, this is what the contract says. And I copied and pasted it. Because what is your one very big tool? Preparation, know your contracts. Know your contracts. If you don't know your contract, you can't negotiate. So at the time of possession, the seller shall deliver the property clean. Define clean.
Your clean is different from mine.
Oh, yes, it is. It's free of trash, debris, and personal property. But I copied it right from the language. I said this is too vague. The step I added is more about setting expectations and avoiding issues hours before we're supposed to close. If the house is going to be clean, then clarifying it further to avoid any misunderstanding should only help both of us, right? Please help me out with this, and so right back, the language you refer to as vague has been in the car contract for as long as I can recall, and it's an additional ask for professional cleaning. Okay. True. And so I say, I understand. We can remove the professional cleaning, but I'd still like the expectations for the clean if that's okay with yourself. Not okay with you. Where I'm going with that is, and why I sent that to her is because she responded so quickly, I know she didn't even talk to her sellers. Like, go ask them. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, we're having it cleaned anyway because we're gonna be exhausted. Like, why are you causing issues with me and making this a deal that potentially is not, right? So remember who, that's your other tool. Remember who is negotiating. Your sellers, your buyers, they're negotiating. You're just the mouthpiece. Sorry, okay. So what was the outcome? The outcome was she signed my whole steps exactly as I wrote it. Okay. That is what happened, because when she presented it to them, it was fair, it was clear, they understood it, and they signed it. So here's your quick tips. Understand your client and remember it's their negotiation, right? Don't start, things can get heated, you can get stressed, you got life, you got kids. My elderly parents live with us. I mean, it's like life happens and you can get stressed, but it's our job to remain calm and focused and buffer a lot of that from our clients. So set realistic expectations for your clients. So every time I went back with them and I said, this is what we're going to ask, here's what could potentially happen. Okay. Ask lots of questions and listen. I think you got that today. Be friendly. I think you got that, right? Keep focused on the big picture. And I always say, hey, I know you want to get to the closing table. I want to get to the closing table. How can we make this happen? What do we need to do? I'm always like, you're on my team. You are my teammate. Let's do this. Filter communication to keep the deal on track. You don't have to tell them. Don't have to tell them anything. They need to know the important stuff. But don't stress them out with all the little details. And do you know what that agent did to me? You should see the email I got. Don't filter that communication. Build rapport and know when to signal the end of the rope is near to the other agent. Okay? That's just like, hey, we went back, they're gonna walk if your people don't. This is not gonna work. Like we're at the end here. I don't think I'm gonna get one more thing out of them. Like let them know that this is at jeopardy. It's fair to say, we're getting near here. Be confident, always be confident and never blow. Never blow. Okay, because that will just come back to bite you. So when I show up at this closing with her, I'm gonna be super friendly, right? It doesn't matter that she was not very professional or quite nice in some of our conversations, but and if you want to know more about negotiations, this is the most fantastic book. Seth Wiseman wrote it. Seth is on the GAR committee, and he writes our contracts, and he's the one every year we have changes to our contracts. If there's any class that you ever attend every single year, it should be contract change. To know that it's like, because this agent told me, when she told me if I was a brand new agent, and she said it's already in the contract, that cleaning, right? As a new agent, I might have went. And if I didn't go look, I might have believed her. Then I might have moved it. But I knew what the contract, but I did hesitate. Did Seth change that again in here? And I went, look, right? So, but there's tons of stuff in here about negotiations and how it applies to real estate versus other negotiations. So if you are really interested, quick read, easy, and it's got a lot of fun nuggets in it. So that's my recommendation. Any questions for me? Yeah. I've done it. I've done that.
And now.
Well, for me, it's really getting to know that client too, right? Their personalities. And if you're from the very beginning, you're doing a lot of asking of questions again, which is, I've changed all my listing presentation just recently. I used to go in and have this and this and Kelly's thing in there on every listing, and I say, and I just kind of like vomit all over them about how great I am and what we can do for you and blah, blah, blah. So now on the listing, I just say, what was your past experience with a real estate agent? Right? And then my next question is, if there's one fear I can alleviate today, what would that be for you? So you're asking the questions, you're getting to know them, and by some of those answers, you don't even sometimes have to do your listing presentation. Just kind of set it aside. So when someone says, well, to be honest, they start that like, to be honest, you've already got them. Like, there's confiding in you, right? My biggest fear is, right? I got you, don't you worry, right? So when you're doing that kind of stuff, get to know your client. Some clients, they'll twist on you, midstream too. So I don't think that you can always know the answer to that. I've stumbled into it too, and I've had to backtrack. And I say, like, listen, and I just fall on the sword a lot of the time. That was my bad. Was my bad or not? It's my bad. I was having a bad day, whether I was having a bad day or not. I'm going to just kind of smooth that over. That wasn't that agent, whatever. Right? So I'm trying to shine it back up so it's not, but it is, you just release it in little bits and see how they react is what I would really say. Release it in little bits and get their reaction. But we all feel, especially right now, we need to validate our values, and that's almost another class showing our values. But
Thank you.
I have one more thing. Oh. You don't love that?
Not be real. So Holly, as has been doing this for a minute, and she she's so sweet. She sounds so sweet. I've heard her on the phone, and she's a wicked negotiator. So I'd say, and I don't, and her contact info is on here, and so she means that. Like, if you guys have questions or in a weird situation and you just like want to pick somebody's brain or can't, whatever, she's probably come across it, because you do attract some specials.
I do.
So yeah. Anyway, thank you for me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Now you get to watch our video. Is it on? Wanda. Very good. Gary's here. Good job, guys. job, guys. Big round of applause. Great job. Our little cute stuff come on awards day. I love that. I love celebrating y'all. All right. No, stop. No, no. All right, Mr. Ray, come on up. The man is gonna make everybody coming very happy.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Great to see y'all here today. I think I know a lot of you, but there's a lot of people I don't know. So I'll just tell you a little bit about who we are and why we're here. So I'm Ray Godleski. I'm a CFP with Southeast Wealth Partners. And Cindy Walters works for me. She's in the back sitting there next to Ann. I've been doing this for about 10 years and licensed in a bunch of states. But why am I here is to be a resource for you. So everybody in the room has a financial plan. Some might know it very well, some may not know it very well, whether you work with somebody or not, right? So we're a resource for you. We're also a resource for you and your clients, right? So we might be able to help there. And then the third way we can help is we like to bring education and awareness on several topics that are really important to people. And so we got something coming up in a couple weeks. That's going into long-term care. What is that? How do you plan for that, right? Because 70% of people that reach the age of 65 need it. So you probably should at least talk about it and plan for it. So we have something we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. It's going to be in a state attorney's office. We have lots of relationships and networks. So if you need attorneys in different spaces or other types of professionals, we can be helpful. So, and then the other event that's coming up in June is at the South Forsyth office. And that's going to be taxes in retirement. So folks that you know that are 10 years out, 5 years out, or even 5 years into retirement, we've done this a few times and it's a little advanced, but people that come to this really love it. So if you want maybe an invitation link, let me know. We can kind of tag you on that, or if you just want to have an offline conversation on, well, I don't know about those dates and that location, but I'd love to give one people I know or people in my network. I'd love to get a touch point. How can we do this together, maybe in this office or somewhere else? Just let me know. We'll have business cards out there. Got my contact information, QR code, make it easy to set up a phone call. And I've said all that. And now the important thing is food. Is in the back. It's Los Hermanos. I think people like that. So they're open this Sunday if you want to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. They have a couple locations. Highly encourage it. And if I have a quick minute, is there any quick question or two before we break for dinner or lunch? We're hungry. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody again for being here today. We have a full room. If there's somebody in this room that you don't know and you've been here for a minute and you're on the ALT specifically, please make sure you introduce yourself.